time out of your extraordinarily busy schedule to come to this. I was so touched when Jonathan asked me if I would open our home for this event, and of course said, absolutely, because mainly I want to learn, Jonathan, about what you and your good friends have been working on for, what, 2 years? And so this is an honor for me and a learning time for me as well. I went to California last week to be with our son and daughter-in-law because we had two really important life passages in our family. Our granddaughter, our eldest granddaughter, graduated from high school, and then their son, her younger brother, graduated from the 8th grade. So I spent a week in California celebrating these divine children and this wonderful family, and it was just, as you can imagine, a really glorious, loving experience. But Kentucky is never far away, even if we're trying to get far away, and I'm sure Crit and Lynn found this in Europe, when they were just touring Europe. Well, I'm revitalizing, and hopefully in a very sustainable way, a building downtown, which you might know of as the Molee building. And our lead architect is a gentleman from California. So he invited me to his office to do work, and we worked all day. And then he asked me if I would be willing to do a little filming, and I said, of course, I'd be happy. And it turned out, you could believe this, the gentleman who was filming and interviewing me was from, guess where? Come on, more imaginative. West Liberty. I mean, you could have blown me over with a feather. I was like, oh man, I gave him a big hug. I said, you're not going to believe what I'm doing next week, and I can't wait to learn more about your home place. So he had his mummy call today, because I said to him, you still have relatives in West Liberty? He said, well, my aunt, blah, blah. I said, well, bring them on. Tell them if they'd like to come to the party, please come. So they couldn't come, sadly, but his mummy called and told us how sorry she was she couldn't come. And then he wrote this beautiful email. So I'm going to read the email, and I hope it's going to spur in you a little thought about why you came in this loving way to learn about West Liberty, because we're going to then quickly, and we're going to be very kind of dogmatic about how quickly, because I know you don't want to stay that long, but I would like each of you to share why you came, just, because you represent blank, and we'll do it very, very quickly. But I think it's important because I'm blown away by the combination of talent that's right here. So, all right, this is from Malachi, don't you love that name? Malachi Leopold. And this is what Malachi had to say to you today. He said, personally, West Liberty is where my love for nature came to life. I spent countless hours hiking the hills and the gullies, fishing its ponds and creeks, falling in love with the outdoors. My pawpaw, Dr. Alex Spencer, was the biggest influence in my life in my early childhood, taking me on very special fishing trips around the Morgan County countryside. My mother is Caroline Gillahan, born Caroline Spencer. Her father was Dr. Alex Spencer, I see nods, formerly mayor of West Liberty, and we have today's mayor, thank you, sir, and the town and the country's family doctor for decades, delivering more than 6,000 babies in his career. Many people remember Dr. Spencer for his love of the outdoors. He was an avid hunter and fisherman, and for his mean game of croquet. Her mother was Charlene Spencer, who deeply loved her community and founded West Liberty's famous Sorghum Festival. Her sister Sandra, now living in Texas, lost her home completely to the tornado and briefly lived in a FEMA-provided trailer. So, now, I know you've got to be as touched as I am by those beautiful words of Morgan County, which I can hardly wait to visit. So, I would love to just quickly begin and go around. And Regina, will you help kind of move the conversation, maybe, if you just walk? Would the Adamses just begin? Maybe we have to move this too, would that be good? Okay, I'll hold that, but we'll wait for it.
I yield my remarks to my wife, Lee. I'm Lane Adams, and I'm working on an energy committee with the Commonwealth Institute for Policy Issues and Civic Engagement, and that's why I'm here.
Fabulous. What can I do? Does that help? Okay.
Thank you. I'm here because Barbie Clark invited us.
That's right. It can be a silly. What is that?
I wish no one ill, but out of tragedy, we should be looking for wonderful things to happen.
Peter Hilly with MASID in Berea, working on energy and community economic development.
Paul Medcalf from Evansville, Indiana, and Bobby is a dear friend and invited us. But I saw what happened with a tornado back in 2005 that destroyed about 32 lives were taken, and the mother of a little boy named CJ wanted that community to have something good to remember instead of tragedy. And together we built a bus and had a fantastic ride for about 5 years, helping children of disaster to have a safe place to go and just have fun.
Randy Beard, and I'm here because of Bobby Clark, the invitation, and I too saw the devastation. I visit all over the country with school corporations and children and writing and music, and I know what it means to have support for community, and I applaud you tonight. What an awesome scene.
Tom Nolan with Humana. Really two reasons. First, at my company, we do projects with the Clinton Foundation. I'm very glad they're involved as a partner with this fabulous renewal. And also my father, I'm not sure even Christy knows this, but all my father's people, including my father, are from Madison County, going back to 1775, and that's not all that far from Morgan County.
I'm Ben Evans, and I'm a filmmaker, and one of my favorite people in the world is a guy named Bob Berkebile, and he was in our first film, and he's the man largely responsible for rebuilding Greensburg, Kansas after their tornado destroyed Greensburg, and it became a model for sustainability. So I'm hoping to make connections and get him involved in helping with West Liberty as well, and documenting it as it happens. So.
I'm also here because of Bobby, but he happens to be my business partner, so I've chosen that. I've been working with him on West Liberty for 20 months. I'm sort of the technical arm of the team, and I've been amazed by the community's passion and interest in the project, and just really how far this community could go in being a model for Eastern Kentucky as well as the larger Midwest. So very excited. Thank you everybody for coming today.
That's why I married you, so you talk.
Well, I'll talk, but you can come up here.
Okay.
This is my wife, Kay, who doesn't want to talk, but I'm Steve Vest. I'm with Kentucky Monthly Magazine. And Kentucky Monthly, we believe that, we have 4.3 million people in the state of Kentucky. And if you're willing to talk to somebody more than a few minutes, we're all connected. We view the magazine as really a magazine that's really just a family newsletter for a very large dysfunctional family, which includes West Liberty and Frankfort and Louisville and everybody else. And so that's what we do. We're all family.
Exactly. Well said.
My name is Megan Smith. I'm also here with media. I publish business media, and I have a project called Encouraging Thinking, and our mission is to tell the stories of businesses, small and large, that are engaged in social enterprise.
I'm Wayne Perkey, and I grew up, and I'm an East Tennessee hillbilly, but I've traveled through West Liberty, and I saw the destruction after. I was on my way to Pikeville to speak to the Rotary Club up there. I think you're next. No, I was last. You were last, okay. But mostly, I go anytime she calls. I'm Eddie Granger. I'm a business owner on Main Street in West Liberty. I've taken and rebuilt the antiques, and we also have a bed and breakfast 6 miles outside of town on our farm. It's a farm stay. You can come and stay. Moved from Florida 6 years ago, looked on the internet, found this beautiful little town, met the locals, and they introduced us right to their horse farm and all that, and we fell in love. So we decided to make West Liberty our home. Still am making West Liberty our home, but we need help. We need West Liberty just to get started, and it's really hard until your town hits it. It really is. You cannot believe it. So appreciate y'all coming.
My name's Ken Everhart, and I heard there was an open bar. So it worked. It worked. I actually have a real soft spot for rural Kentucky. I'm an outdoors fisherman, and I travel all over the state, and every place I go, I see a lot of poverty, and I see it in the best conditions. So I've not been to West Liberty, but I can only imagine what those people went through and are going through today. So I can't imagine a better thing to do.
Thank you, Jonathan Christy. Martin Richards with Community Farm Alliance. So community is really important, and Morgan County is historical ag community. And if I'm not mistaken, even after this short time, they've already had their farmers market up and going again. And I think that's a real sign of hope. And and I go through there once a week. I'm in Eastern Kentucky, and it was West Liberty. I went through there week after the tornado in Sawyersville and West Liberty and all that area up there. So, and I think Greensburg is an inspiration to what we can do. Thank you.
I'm here with Ken, and I heard there was an open bar. No, I think this is a wonderful thing to do. I think when people don't have anything and you start taking a list of all the things you do have, then I think you have to start doing away with your own stuff and start giving that money to people who don't have anything. So I'm glad to be here.
That's very nice. My name is John Clark. I'm with Old Stone Press, and I publish books. There is a book in this somewhere, or a story, more important, frankly. I'm here because of Bobby Clark and Florence Huffman. They're ex-partners, and I have to tell you that the integrity of these two people are incredible. And so that's why I'm here. But I'm also here because of Christy. And when she sends out an invitation, you better be there, because she's going to make an impact somewhere. And this tells a lot about not only Louisville in this part, but also all of Kentucky. All these folks that have come here from Kentucky. Kentucky rallies around people that need help, and all Kentuckians do. And I'm glad that you're doing this, Christy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Well, first of all, thank you, Christy, for being our hostess this evening. It's lovely. I'm Florence Huffman. I'm Bobby's business partner for many years in the publishing business, and he is the father of my goddaughter, I've got to say that, who just turned 16, lovely girl. I'm here because I believe in community, and I believe in change. And I believe that when we rally together across this state, from east to west, to north to south, including Louisville and Lexington and Frankfort, we make a difference. I believe in the difference that an individual can make in the lives of other people. And I thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Well, I'm Neil Pizzullo, and I'm a member of a group called the Glen Mary Home Missioners. We're Catholic brothers and priests who serve the rural areas of the country. Glen Mary served the West Liberty community for many years in the whole county with a Catholic population, and I myself was there as a seminarian 18 years ago, I believe.
Hi, I'm Kathy Walter, and I'm here because I'm married the mayor of West Liberty, so I'm here working on. But we both grew up in West Liberty, and probably the most impact of anything that I could say is that the night that it happened, Mark is on all of the ambulance boards and rescues and everything, and both of us are nurses. So when his radio started going off, we saw it firsthand. I walked down Main Street when my church steeple was at the end of the street, and it was in the street. So we saw it firsthand. We saw the impact of everything, but we are of great faith, and I do not believe that God let West Liberty be destroyed to not rebuild it even better. I thank every one of you guys that are here for everything that you're doing.
Wow, that was great, Kathy. I'm Sherry Farley. I'm with Frontier Housing in Moorhead, Kentucky. We're a nonprofit builder, and we are the developer partner in this Clinton Global Initiative commitment to action. So a little bit of my history about West Liberty is that my family is originally from West Liberty. I still have a lot of family who lives there. I was actually on a plane coming in from Los Angeles and watching, it was a nice plane, so it had live TV, was watching CNN on my way home, that night. And CNN was talking about West Liberty, Kentucky, and the devastation there. So for those of you who have family, and most of you do, I'm sure, probably all, you can imagine the heartache and the worry and the concern. And unlike Kathy, I was not allowed in the town until the next day. Didn't even know if my family had survived. So, but West Liberty, Morgan County, that's a surviving population. There is improvements being made there, and we're just glad to be a part of it. And we really appreciate you, Christy, for having us, your graciousness, and for all of you to come out in support of this work. Thank you.
I am Heather Warman, and Bobby Clark and I are working together on several projects. I'm the executive director for the Kentucky Environmental Foundation. We are very interested in economic development opportunities in Appalachia. It holds a special place in my heart. I'm a kayaker. I love to go into the mountains and onto the creeks and into the streams. And we are so excited to see an extractive community and an extractive area become a regenerative community and a regenerative area. And that's the way that we hope as an organization to drive all of Eastern Kentucky and our entire state. So we are so excited to be here, and thank you, Christy, for having everyone.
Hi, I'm Jim Gazay, not originally from West Liberty. I did grow up in Eastern Kentucky in Breathitt County. I went into the Navy and spent 25 years there, and also with the Department of Defense. And when me and my wife, Lisa, who's on the other side of this crowd, we were looking for a place to retire, we found West Liberty. And we came back there, and then it was 2006 we settled in. About 2 weeks before the tornado, they'd asked me to sit on because of my previous experience, sit on the emergency management team. I was one of the incident commanders that night. It's hard to talk about that. But I think what we got here, we got a chance to do something. We got a chance for change. I told them that night, this is a chance. It's hard. We lost 7 dear friends that night. But this is a chance for us to go back and build something better. And even more so, this is something that we can do that will work, has implications on a national level. What we do here will set the model just like Greensburg did before. And that's why I'm here.
I'm Jay Marshall. I'm with Morehead State University, and it's our university's mission to get back to our service region. We sent 800 students 9 days after the tornadoes into Menifee County, Magoffin County, and Morgan County to help pick up the pieces. And we're pretty proud of that fact. Not only that, but it's just simply the right thing to do, is to help rebuild West Liberty. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Louis Straub. I'm with JP Morgan Chase. I manage part of our public finance business. Let me ask you a question. How many of you here are from Louisville and remember the April 3rd, 1974 tornado? Okay, me too. My house was destroyed. And you remember the terrible devastation we had here in Louisville? It is nothing compared to what happened to West Liberty. Absolutely nothing. And when my good friend and colleague, Paul Costell, who manages our Kentucky market, when we heard about what happened to West Liberty, we knew we had to do something about it. So we rallied the power of JP Morgan Chase, got our banker Aaron Siebert, who managed our New Markets Tax Credit Group, and we were able to invest $5 million worth of equity into West Liberty to help rebuild West Liberty. Not only that, we raised another $25 million in capital to do loans for West Liberty. And you can imagine already an economically challenged area, now devastated from an economy with no city left, how hard that was. And Paul and I really appreciate our firm and our ability to help that community because they really need it. Thank you.
My name is Colleen Crum. I'm here as a guest of Bobby Clark. He and I work on the Louisville Sustainability Council's Green Economy Action Team here in Louisville, along with Sean, if he's still here, Vandevander. My background is interior design. I'm fascinated with the point of change. And when I describe the West Louisville, everything that you said earlier about connecting people, is right up my alley. But when I describe to people the project, the opportunity to start a master plan for an entire community, it doesn't happen very often. And with the United States Green Building Council and some of the things that they've become aware of, it's a fascinating opportunity for the youth in that community to get engaged in the community, maybe instead of moving out of town. So our sympathies are with you guys. But that's why I'm here.
My name is Ned Bonney. I'm a lawyer. I live in the country. Fortunately, I can get to town in less than 30 minutes and make a living. But the important thing and the reason I'm here, West Liberty is in a beautiful part of our state. And the coal mines are drawing down, but those acres that the coal mining companies have, they want to do something with that land. And West Liberty sits close, if not in the middle of that territory, and we can with a vision make West Liberty a center for what they do in Montana, Wyoming. We can make it a tourist destination. I had a friend call me this afternoon. He said, I've got 15,000 horsemen that want a trail ride. What better place to trail ride than Eastern Kentucky and West Liberty and all that region, and the coal companies, they're looking for somebody to give that land to or buy it inexpensively. We can make West Liberty the center and a part of a community that we have really neglected and have not had the vision to say trees, mountains, streams, fishing, riding, you name it, West Liberty and Eastern Kentucky have it. So I said, I'm going, Jonathan Miller and all of us are behind any project that will help Kentucky, and particularly Eastern Kentucky and West Liberty. So everybody here comes from somewhere and they have an interest, and we can, I have friends, I look around this crowd, we all have friends who can help create a new Eastern Kentucky, which is not limited at all, and the future is there. Montana proved it, or Wyoming proved it, but we can prove it in Eastern Kentucky. And you say, why am I here? That's why I'm here.
Keep it moving.
That's hard to follow. I'll try to be brief. Yeah. I grew up in Northern Kentucky. I'm really honored to be here, and I love this idea of passing the microphone. I know it's time consuming, but it's great to hear so many different voices, and I'm surprised that there's so many people here from West Liberty. I didn't even think or expect that, so thank you for being here and sharing your experience. It's obviously been tough. I honestly don't know where West Liberty is on the map. I've never been there, and maybe this would cause me to go there. So for me as a native Kentuckian, I want you to recover and want things to be better for you, and I love the idea of this project doing that, hopefully. But I also really am interested in the environmental plank of this project that I've read a little bit about. I'm really excited to learn more about the energy plank of this project, and it's interesting that it is in a Kentucky coal town, and we have to face this problem eventually. So fossil fuels and how we use them. So I'm really excited about this project.
I'll be sure. I'm Natalie Andrews, and I'm here to learn, and because Kentucky taught me about family and community.
Chris Taft, two quick reasons. First off, Christy beat me in ping pong on Monday, so I'm here. But no, the real reason I'm here is I remember the tragedy in West Liberty and just wanted to come out and show my support. Thank you for making the trip here. I'm looking forward to seeing the new West Liberty.
I'm Kathy Dykstra with Family Scholar House and Family Scholar House US. We have a project in Pikeville, Kentucky, and I'm here to learn more and to see how we can help.
Joe Claves, deputized to speak for my wife on this occasion.
We represent the Kentucky Philanthropy Initiative. Excited to be here to learn what philanthropy's role can play in what, from an unfortunate situation, can be a great opportunity, and learn about the green initiatives and economic development initiatives and be a part of that.
Hi, I'm Greg Lujan. I'm April's husband, and more importantly, Miller's father. It was because of Miller 2 years ago. I was actually at a conference in Boston, and my daughter was 9 years old at the time, and she heard about the tornado because she was locked in a Kroger's meat locker with my wife, April, because it was coming through Lexington as a big windstorm. And when I landed 2 days later, we read the newspaper, and my daughter very specifically said, "Daddy, what can I do?" And I said, "Well, you know, there's children in West Liberty too." And she ran to her room and she grabbed all of her toys and all of her stuffed animals, and she ran to me and she said, "We gotta go." And I didn't even know where West Liberty was, much like this gentleman over here. And I went there, and we met an incredible amount of people, and we donated all of Miller's toys to children. But more importantly, we met with then mayor, who told us that we had everything covered. And I said, "I'm from the University of Kentucky. I'm the Associate Dean for Research. I'm in the College of Design. We have amazing students that need to do work. And we've done 2 solar decathlon projects. We've built things. Actually, I met Christy many years ago at the Festival of Faith. And I said, you know, we have great ideas, great intentions. What a great opportunity to take what we do and turn it into a 3-dimensional classroom." And 2 years later, I got a phone call from Jim Gazay, who you already heard from, who said, "We need help." And I said, "Well, Jim, I got a great idea. I'm going on sabbatical. I'm going down to Texas, and I'm going to go to Texas A&M. It's an SEC school, and why don't we turn our project into West Liberty and say, let's move forward. Let's project the path. Let's move the needle." And Lisa Gazay said, "I got a better idea. Let's move the needle. Let's invite the people from Texas to Kentucky and show them what we can do and work together to solve our problems." But more importantly, one of your mantras, Greg, was "By Kentucky for the world." So if you can solve a Kentucky problem, you can solve a world problem. And that's something that Dr. Todd, who was then president of the University of Kentucky, told me. And as a formative youth and a new junior faculty, now associate professor and dean, said, "I think we can really change the world." So it really started with my daughter. We've come up with 20 fantastic ideas. We've developed business plans. We've worked with Bobby Clark and Jason and Jonathan Miller to really come up with an idea that could actually take this not only for now, but for the future. We've worked with the mayor. So Mark, great to see you and all these folks. And I brought all of my kids from Texas to Kentucky. And all of the people from West Liberty, you've heard all the travesty that's happened. You know what? They opened their doors to our kids, and they put them up for 2 weeks, and we stayed with them, and we worked with them, and we come up with a new business plan for them and an idea to rebuild. But as Jim said, we need your help. And I think if we could take this from ideas to fruition and to real implementable ideas with your assistance, it'd be really fantastic.
Thank you. My name is John Stacy. I'm the state representative from Morgan County, and I don't live right in downtown West Liberty. I live in the suburbs, about 3 miles out of town. So, but Michelle and I did stand right in our living room and see the storm go right by our home, and we survived with only a roof damage, and so we're among the lucky people in my community. But first of all, I'd like to thank Christy for opening up her home. Let's give her a big round of applause. Thank you so much. And Jonathan and Bobby and everyone, thank you all. You know, there are a lot of other communities in southern Indiana and maybe Oklahoma and other places that have received more devastation. Maybe more people were killed, but no community, in my opinion, needs help any more than this community. And one of the gratifying things about that storm, if there was one thing, was that the next morning, or that evening, You can't imagine how many people, Bobby, came to that little community's help. There were people there from all over Kentucky. And that just goes to show you, that just tells you what a great state we really live in. We do. We are lucky to be Kentuckians, and we're lucky to live here. And so it's always been important for our state, Jonathan, that when we work together, every part of Kentucky is as good as it possibly can be. And so even though we had a great devastation, and we're coming back with your all's help, we appreciate you opening up your home, and you opening up your hearts, and you opening up your wallets too. We appreciate that. We want to become the town that's not known as the little town in eastern Kentucky that got blown away. We want to be known as the little town that's so nice they had to build it twice. Thank you all.
I think if you don't mind, let's do maybe 3 or 4 more, and then we're going to have Jonathan. So Morgan, would you like to speak, or is there anybody in particular?
Mayor, we want to get
Well,
hear from
he's
Mayor.
going to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to speak with us. So.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, hi, I'm Morgan McGarvey. I represent part of Louisville in the state Senate here, and I'll just be very brief. I'm here because this is such an exciting initiative, and it's something that we need to do not just in eastern Kentucky, but everywhere. So part of the reason I'm here, of course, is just to learn more about how we do it and how this group of people can get it done. Thanks.
Fonda. Yeah.
I'm Father John Roush. I've worked in community economic development for 35 years. My interest, of course, I served West Liberty. I was at Mass about 8 weeks ago in West Liberty. My interest is making the ownership pattern for the future more inclusive. That might mean cooperatives. That might mean authentic nonprofits. And that's going to help bring other people into this area, because we will have a community that really is not for individuals gaining a lot of wealth, but rather the entire community gaining a lot of wealth.
Thank you, Father. Let's do 2 more if you don't mind. Thanks for cutting off. Can I? Thank you. Yeah.
I'm Vonda Pointer with FAHE, which is the Federation of Appalachian Housing Enterprises, and we're just pleased to be a partner in the development of these single-family units with Sherry there at Frontier, with Bobby, working with him, and with Jonathan has been wonderful. Stacy here at Next Steps. I want to thank you for your hospitality, Christy, and quite frankly, West Liberty is just simply worth investing in.
Thank you.
Good evening, Lynn Llewellyn. I am a board member of the Kentucky Housing Corporation, which is very much involved in all of this, as well as being a consultant to the staff and to Jim King at the Federation of Appalachian Housing Enterprises. I'm delighted for you all to be here again to voice my friend John Will. We are hopeful that you will open up your wallets, and thank you so much to Christy for her leadership in putting this together. Jonathan Miller, our dear old friend who's we've been engaged with on a number of issues, and thanks also to the Clinton folks for coming in and working with us.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to come right over here. I'm sorry for those who didn't speak, but we're not going to leave when we finish our, Jonathan finishes his little presentation. We have much more food and good drinks. So Jonathan, welcome, and thank you for you.
Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I'm a recovering politician. In the spirit of this evening, I'm going to spend the next 90 minutes talking the history of West Liberty, back to the days of Daniel Boone. First of all, let me just say that, now that I'm no longer in politics, I can actually speak honestly and without any BS. And I can say this without any BS, but when we rewrite the history of Kentucky, the first few decades of Kentucky political and environmental history, we'll talk about governors and senators and congressmen, but right near the top of that list is going to be Christy Brown. And I am so honored to be her friend and so happy that she opened up her house. This is someone who truly is changing the world, and thank you for everything you do. Let me talk to you, because so many people have told the story, I don't need to tell it anymore. It's hard to resist this microphone, but I'm going to keep it short. This is about a part of an incredible rebuilding experience going on with West Liberty. And the mayor's going to talk a little bit about the town and its resilience. But 2 years ago, shortly after the tornado hit, a group of local folks came together to envision what West Liberty could be like. There is a gentleman, for those of you who are my age and older, you might remember a gentleman by the name of Lee Majors from Middlesboro, Bell County, Kentucky. And he starred in a television show called The $6 Million Man. And the theme of that show was that we're going to rebuild him better than before. And the folks in West Liberty really have taken that message to heart, to rebuild the town as a 21st century entrepreneurial sustainable city that not only will help house the hundreds of families that lost their homes, not only will reinvigorate the spirit of the community, but most of all, it's going to serve as a model for the rest of the world, serve as a model for disaster-ravaged communities across the country, but also serve as a model for other communities in Appalachia, which haven't been hit by a tornado, but have been hit by financial and economic storm that has been every bit as devastating. And so when we, Bobby Clark, who has been, who I think has only been mentioned 75 times, so I'll mention him for the 76th
More so than you.
Bobby, I've been the one that generally takes credit. Bobby is the one that does the hard work, has been spending 2 hours on this, two years on this. Bobby and I head to Denver for the Clinton Global Initiative event in Denver to share this story. And our hope is that not only can we do some great things for the people of West Liberty, but that we can provide a model of sustainability for the rest of the country. Well, people will be remembering West Liberty, Kentucky as the place where this all began and the place where this is all happening. Let me just say a couple things. What we are doing right now is phase one of rebuilding West Liberty. A lot of ideas came from this project. Phase one involves developing 48 multifamily units that are energy efficient. That construction is going on right now. We're building 4 new homes that are affordable, that will be zero net energy costs, using solar, geothermal, and energy efficiency technologies that, again, will be replicable for the entire country. Stacey Epperson has been a national leader on this. She's out of Louisville, and then Sherry Farley, who you heard from earlier, is on the ground in Frontier Housing, will be providing this model for the rest of the country, and we're so proud to be taking it up there into Denver. Now, we're also going to have a dashboard, an energy efficiency dashboard, that will monitor how these energy savings are occurring. And we'll be sharing that with not only the downtown audience with this dashboard, but we'll put it on the net so that the whole world can be watching this example of West Liberty. Right at the center of this is FAHE. You've heard about this from a couple of the folks, the Federation of Appalachian Housing Enterprise, and the head of FAHE, Jim King, is not here tonight, unfortunately, but stepping in for him is Lynn Llewellyn, and really excited that Lynn additionally brought his trophy wife with him. I'm sorry, I forget your name, Miss Llewellyn. Another person in Crit Llewellyn who will be, who's already in the history books, who this is the first time ever that I've ever known where Lynn is actually the person that is the person on hand, and Crit is the loving spouse, and the last, and so it's such an honor to have her here as well. Lastly, before I turn this over to Mayor Walter, is the one thing I miss least about politics is raising money. I see so many people out here that have actually held fundraisers for me. Christy held about 75 fundraisers for me. But I can't let this opportunity go by to make an appeal, because unlike you giving me money for a campaign where then I spend it on campaign ads, the money that you would give to this effort will go directly into rebuilding the community and serving as a model for the country. For phase one, all we need to do is raise $500,000. We're housing over 100 people, but we've been able to find federal loan programs and other grant programs that can match this $500,000 that we're trying to raise from the private community. So if you, some of you have been online to the FAHE site. Others of you, if you have your checkbook with you, we would be honored if you'd share a little bit of money. This was a free bar, so if at a minimum you pay for your drinks, that will go a long way to help us. But anything that you can do to help spread this message, to help us raise that $500,000 to be this national model, will go a long way. Your $20, your $100, your couple $100 is going to be leveraged to provide not only some great services in West Liberty, but also be a model for the country. With that, let me turn it over to probably the most important person here, the man who presides over this city, to give you a little bit of perspective of what's going on there, and who's been an intimate and an important partner in this effort, Mayor Mark Walter.
Thank you, Jonathan. I want to thank Christy for such a warm welcome. 2 words that I've heard: family and community. And that's what it's all about. Before I go any farther, I'm here because of Bobby. So I have the same answer. Rebuild West Liberty. For those of you that I've heard say, never been there, you've seen the pictures. We want you to come to West Liberty and see how far we have come in the rebuild efforts that have already taken place. But with the innovation that has been proposed, with the 48 units that are already being built, with the 4 energy efficient homes that are being proposed, that is another step toward rebuilding. And as John Will mentioned, we are ready to put behind us that little town that was destroyed by a tornado. We are West Liberty. We are resilient. Tough. Christy asked me to speak on my involvement, and I probably can't do that very well because I carry it with me every day. But from the time that the tones went off, I'm a volunteer fireman, and we were told West Liberty took a direct hit. There's entrapment. We need all personnel, and we took action. The community, the state, within 12 hours, our streets were full of volunteer firemen, rescue, and those wanting to help. Now as you drive down West Liberty, you see hope, you see promise. And with you all being here, and the smiles and the welcome that I have received tells us that you're behind our efforts. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and just thinking about us and understanding it's a process, and we are coming back. Thank you.
So before we get to the closing blessing, we're going to go from the profane to the sacred. The profane is, it's not that profane. Let me ask you again, one last time. We're going to be sending everybody an email with instructions on how you can contribute to this effort. We'd love you to contribute, but even better, please forward this email to your email list. There are things called Facebook and Twitter that I'm aware of out there that also share this message, but please help us get this message out there. And if you do have your checkbook, you do make it out to FAHE, F-A-H-E, F-A-H-E, I got that right. Or you can make it out to the Jonathan Miller Daughters College Tuition Fund. We'll see it gets there. But thank you, and let me turn it to close this off with a prayer from Father John.
Let us pray. And loving God, here we are in your cathedral. And here you, before us, flow this water. Water is so important to life. We ask you from the hills of eastern Kentucky that feeds into the water flowing by our feet, that you bless the hills in particular. We ask for that blessing on West Liberty. Loving God, At one time, many trees closed in that community. And today, it's more open. But we do know, loving God, you'll replant. You'll regenerate. You'll bring growth. Loving God, we're here together because we're at the end of the water that flows from the mountains through Louisville, and we're all connected. We have great confidence that you'll give us the courage to go back up into the headwaters and make right what has been lost so far. We give you thanks that you've called us together tonight. And we make this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Make yourself at home. There are more hors d'oeuvres coming, and the bar is flowing, and we're just so happy